Good morning. Welcome to the Rangers Roost. Um, Today is me putting out an AMA on screenwriting to see if anybody wants to respond. I don't know if anybody's going to necessarily, but we're going to start just a little bit by talking about what's going on in my own life. First of all, anybody who's been following the rookies on Twitch and YouTube should know that today's rookies episode has been rescheduled for next week. Same time, just just because everybody ended up with scheduling conflicts at the same time. I myself am working on a screenwriting deadline, which is why screenwriting is on my mind at the moment. Um, Most of my work, and in fact most of the money that I've used to finance the progress on Jump Rangers so far, comes from ghostwriting and script doctor work. So a script doctor is a screenwriter who kind of steps in and pinch hits for the development of a project, uncredited and usually underpaid. Um, it's about saving films without disrupting the creative ownership of the people who are working on them, basically. And it's challenging work and it's fun because uh, the fact that nobody's sort of adding my name to the brand means that people are a lot more concerned with whether or not I can actually do the work than what it says that I'm a part of the film. Most of my own projects and most of my public image is about science fiction, fantasy, and you know, I can push into comedy and kind of modern fantasy and surrealism very easily, but I think people start to get nervous when I'm writing a biopic, you know. But in a ghostwriting situation, nobody's worried about that because nobody knows I'm there. So ultimately, it's just a question of who can do the best work. And I'm pleased to say that I've made a lot of clients very happy in genres that no one would ever expect me to be working with, and that's fun and it's thrilling. Um, at the same time, it is uncredited, and I have done a lot of work in a wide range of genres that other people are getting credit for doing, and that's part of the job. I don't have a problem with it, but it's it's it doesn't help me professionally, you know, and and it's very much just survival money. It is a pretty exploitative side to the industry, and I've made my peace with it, knowing that there's going to be producers and creatives out there who are trying to realize their vision, who wind up relying on me to such a degree that my success magnifies their success. And in time, those people are going to become the creative partners that I work with most frequently, and other people who maybe are relying on me, but uh, not as consciously, are going to find themselves a little put out when it comes to how my time and resources get allocated. So that's kind of the nature of how the business works. You make yourself necessary to people, and the people who acknowledge that necessity in practical and useful ways, those people end up being the strong relationships that you move forward with. And some people are more conscious about that than others. Um, but this week I am working on a project that I thought was a script doctor job, that I thought was a ghostwriting job, and it turns out I'm credited, and that's exciting for me. Yep, Ippy Looney says yay, which is nice. It's another film that I think a lot of people wouldn't have expected me to be working on. The I'm not going to talk too much about it because I haven't seen any press releases on it, and I haven't signed any non-disclosures, but I don't think that, yeah, but I don't think there's any need to break news. That's not my job. But I will say it's a martial arts film, and it is a project that I think not everybody would expect me to be involved in, but it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm happy with how it's going. I think I'm amplifying the director's vision very effectively, and at the same time, um, I think the film's got a voice that a lot of people immediately identify as my voice, and that's it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. I was brought onto the project by a producer who's an old friend who knew I could help move things along, and it's working. So that's fun. Um, and that's what I'm going to be doing today instead of working on the game. I had a busy day yesterday. I got all my social media organized for March. I did all the work that I needed to do for this week's session of the rookies, and now today's clear to push through for the midpoint of the project that I'm working on. So that's good. That's good. Um, let's see, what else is there to talk about? My, I'm hoping to see some big money this month. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Um, there's a couple of irons in the fire. I just need to make one or two of them work out. My birthday's on March 12th, and um, Epi Looney says happy birthday. Thank you, Epi Looney. And it would be nice if I could scrounge up the money to do something fun, but there's more important stuff on the table. And I do have a Patreon. So if you're watching this, and the best thing you can do right now is support Jump Rangers. The best thing you can do right now is support Jump Rangers. Um, I'm working on some incentives to fuel that Patreon. What I want to do is buy a big box of Jump Rangers dice. I have a vendor in Poland. They do really nice work. They're going to be translucent purple dice with silver sparkles inside. It's going to have a white print on each side of the numbers in the Jump Rangers font, and I've already designed all that. It looks really cool, um, and I'm planning on sending out a handful of dice in the mail to anybody who signs up. So if you want to get in on that, sign up for the Patreon. It's $5 a month. I can tell you right now that the value of the dice that I'm going to be sending is more than $5. I'm going to be using that $5 to pay for the shipping. And I realize that some people are going to cancel the subscription and walk away. My hope is that people will find value in the game and in everything that I'm putting out for the Patreon, and that we can move forward, with the people who like the game. What's that, Ipulini? Uh, Ipulini's sitting down in her chair. Lou the dog is asking for a lap. Ipulini's trying to explain to a dog that this is not going to be a long-term situation. Dogs do not have a good sense of time. I don't think it's gonna. I think. Yeah. So we have dog drama in the house. Um. What time is it? I've been on for about 10 minutes, huh? What else? What if Looney says that the idea that I could possibly run out of things to talk about is astonishing. So something else that I haven't really talked a lot about on the Rangers Roost is that I play a lot of video games, or rather, I should say, I play video games a lot. Um, I pretty much only play one video game, which is Star Citizen. Um, there's a lot that I like about this game, and I don't know anybody who's familiar with it, but it's a procedural kind of space MMO sandbox kind of game. There's a lot of combat stuff. There's a lot of industrial mining type stuff. There's a lot of trade. The game is slated to become a universe with about 100 star systems. Right now, there's just the one, and they're working on the server technology to allow players to transition out of the server that they're on and onto another server without disrupting the game or introducing a loading screen. and so that players on different servers can interact with each other and they can build the game out as far as it needs to go. The second star system is ready to go. The first one is kind of a corporate owned, not exactly super lawful, but reasonably well controlled star system called Stanton. The second one is a pirate hellscape with an exploding star called Pyro, and and right now they're putting the finishing touches on the technology that allows you to go from one to the other without any disruption of service to the game, or disruption of gameplay. And uh, that sort of technical innovation is just one of many technical innovations that has made the development of Star Citizen very slow. It's been a game in development for about 10 years now, a little over. I've been a part of it since 2021, and I love it, and it's a lot of fun. But and it's an aesthetic that I enjoy. 2020 was it? We moved here at the end of 2021, didn't we? Oh, okay. It was 2020. And at the same time, the thing that I think excites me the most is the fact that it's independent. There's been more than $600 million put into the game, possibly more than 700 million at this point. It seems like a foregone conclusion between Star Citizen, which is the MMO, and the first person narrative campaign, which is called Squadron 42, which is a war game about fighter pilots set in the universe of Star Citizen. That between the two of them, they're going to cost more than $1 billion. It seems inevitable at this point. Squadron 42 is feature complete. They're polishing the game, and we'll see how long that takes. But what's that, Looney? I thought you said you yawned. Okay. um, all of this has been done independently. It started off as a Kickstarter, and now they have 5 studios around the world, and they've managed to build a system of finance that allows them to maintain the ethics that they think are important, to maintain the um, basically to keep the game not just creatively the game that they want, but to help keep the company that they want to build as well, and to help build the player base that they want to build. They've maintained systems of control over all the things that big gaming publishers, AAA gaming publishers, are having a lot of trouble with. And they're building a game that's easily as complex as any game from one of those companies, and they're innovating, which I think is a big part of the company culture. They want to do things that nobody's done before, which isn't something you really get rewarded for when you're working for shareholders. Shareholders don't want to hear that you're going to completely reinvent the genre. What they want to hear is that more people are going to want to buy stock in your company next year than this year. They want to be reasonably sure that there will be more successes than failures, and that the successes that you're achieving are going to be more broadly accessible to people, so that people notice and they buy stock in your company and their stock price goes up. That's what shareholders want. And to me, the inspiring thing about Star Citizen is that, and I'm not saying it's a template. I think that the Kickstarter that made this game successful was very much a product of that moment in crowdfunding history, and also the fact that Chris Roberts, who created Wing Commander, was involved. There was an element of celebrity. There was a lot of different components that fell into place to make that Kickstarter as successful as it was. Of course, Chris and his team did a mountain of work leading into the Kickstarter. They released at Gamescom, I think, the Kickstarter, and that in and of itself takes a degree of privilege, you know, and at the same time, it is a validation of the idea that you can build substantial media independently in this day and age, and that you can maintain your independence and still show growth. And you can do it without compromising your ethics and without compromising your ambition when it comes to the change that you want to affect on your industry. I think that's an incredibly powerful message. And it's one that I value a lot. Anyway, we're going to call it a short day today. We're going to sign off. Thank you, everybody who came in to watch. I'm going to go have some breakfast and get to work. That's what I'm going to do. Get to work on my screenplay. So, thank you for tuning in. If you're seeing this on Twitch or YouTube, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. And we will be streaming Metagame on Saturday. So, and of course on Thursday at 5 p.m. As always, I will be reading the next chapter and editing it for your viewing pleasure here on Twitch in our Ranger Stories stream. So, see you then, and don't be a stranger, Ranger.